This is the most common mistakes that I saw you guys do. So you had something like x plus h squared, and I saw several of you do this. Several of you went and said that x plus h squared was x squared plus h squared. Please don't do that, guys. Please, please, please. Please, please, please don't do that. No, that is never the case. X plus h squared means x plus h times x plus h. So yeah. So when you FOIL this, guys, the x times x is x squared. And then you're going to do x times h. And if you want to write hx, that's fine. I already got into the habit of writing as xh plus another xh plus h squared. And you can see there's two of them there. So that's why I always say, oh, there's going to be two of them. And then I just add up whatever that is. So 2xh plus h squared. And there's my expression, guys. So that's a common mistake that you guys made. Another mistake that you guys made, not in this one, but you guys do it often. You guys tell me that 3 squared plus 4 squared is 3 plus 4. No, it isn't, guys. Don't do that. 3 squared is 9. 4 squared is 16. When you add them together, that's 25. So 3 squared plus 4 squared, the square root of that is 5. So no, don't be doing shenanigans like that, please. You do shenanigans like that, make sure to read your comments, the comments that I wrote in there, guys. I did take the time to write comments. So read them. Let's see. Common denominator notation. So some of you guys are writing it like this. You're getting a common denominator. You're going to say multiply by x plus h plus 4. Excuse me. Multiply by x plus 4. I know what you're doing. I know 100% what you're doing. And then on the next step, you write it correctly. And you write x plus h plus 4, x plus 4. And then here you write, let's see, that's x plus 4. And then minus 2x plus h plus 4, x plus h plus 4, x plus 4. I know what you're doing. That's correct. Yes, that line is correct. But this line here is not correct. Because in order to get a common denominator, yeah, I get it. I saw some of you guys doing this. And yeah, that's fine. You can do that. It's a trick that you probably learned in 5th grade or something. Do this, guys. Whenever you multiply anything, multiply it by x plus h plus 4 over x plus h plus 4. Why am I being picky? Because this is 1. And anything times 1 is itself. So when you're writing this, make sure you write it like this. And maybe you're saying, Chavez, what does it matter? I wrote the correct statement in the second line anyways. You're right. But if you're going to become a medical profession or you're going to be a computer scientist, when you're writing code, the code has to be exact, guys. You can't just tell a computer like, oh, maybe do something like this. Like, no, it has to know. Like, the computer's not going to know. It's going to say, what are you talking about? You know? So, yeah, make it perfect, guys. Don't take any little shortcuts. Trust me, make it perfect if you can. The use of parentheses. Okay. So some of you guys, when you guys are writing the denominator, and I don't remember, I think number 4, the answer was number 4. That's an ugly 4, right? I'm sorry, guys. The answer was like -2 and then over x plus h plus 4 times x plus 4. And some of you expanded at the bottom, that's fine. That's not the error, that's the correct answer. But some of you guys wrote it like this. Some of you guys wrote, okay, this is wrong on many levels. If you write it this way, notice that the 4 is next to this parenthesis, which is x plus h, and now all this, I mean, now you're telling me that you're going to distribute that 4 like that, and it's x plus all of that. So do you guys see how that's wrong? You must insert parentheses. Must insert. So must insert parentheses there, guys. So please, please, please insert those parentheses. All right, the last thing here, the proper use of equal signs. So you guys are funny. You guys did this. I'm just gonna make up a function, guys, a linear function to make it really simple. So I'm gonna say f of x is 3x plus 5, and they wanna know f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Well, some of you guys are doing this. This is correct. X plus h plus 5 minus 3x plus 5. And then you distribute, and then you're going to go 3x plus 3h plus 5 minus 3x minus 5. And then you just go all of a sudden, 3x's cancel out, 5 cancel out, and you go 3h over h. Okay, where did I go wrong? You can unmute yourself, guys, and it's okay if we don't know. How come, why is my statement that I wrote there wrong? I mean, in the end, it's correct. The h's cancel out, and it is 3. So this is correct, this part. But why is this not correct? Why is that an awkward emoji? And why is this an awkward emoji right there? Take a stab at it, guys. Unmute yourself and just tell me what you think. Or do you think I'm like crazy and just making hypothetical stuff?
Because you didn't write the h in the denominator when you were working it out?
Yeah, exactly. There's an equal sign right here, guys. There's an equal sign right here. So because I have an equal sign right there, I got to keep them the same at all times. So you must write, let me go ahead and put it in blue. You must write over h there. You must write over h here as well. You must keep it. You must keep it all the way through. Now, if you want to write on a separate line, if you want to go somewhere here on the side and say, okay, I'm going to figure out what f of x plus h minus f of x is, and then I'm going to do that over here, and you do all that here, and then you bring it in, then that's perfectly fine, guys. But if you're going to put an equal sign, then you got to keep everything equal. So I hope that makes sense, guys. I hope. All right, so now that we've covered that, we'll put a little happy face to indicate that we finished. I don't know, okay, I'm gonna tell you guys a little something. When I was in elementary, I used to love happy face stickers. Like I loved happy face stickers. And I will do whatever the teacher told me for happy face stickers. So I don't know, it just stuck with me. So now I just write happy faces everywhere. I just never grew out of that. All right, that's it. That's the end of the story. Nothing really in there to that, right? All right, anyways, so here we go, guys. General form. Sometimes this is called the standard form. It's the same thing. Don't like freak out. Like, oh, what's the difference between general form and standard form? It's the same. Some books call it general. Some books call it standard. So relax. Hold on, guys. I got another text message here. Okay. Anyways, so yeah. So point slope form, y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. Why do they call it point slope? Because the x1 comma y1 is a point, and because the m is a slope. Point. Horizontal line, y equals b. Horizontal lines have slope of 0. Have slope of 0. In case you're wondering what a horizontal line looks like, it's just horizontal. Just imagine the horizon, so it's just left to right. Slope intercept form. This one, you guys have probably been using it all your life. Y equals mx plus b. The m is the slope, and the b is the y-intercept. I think I had too big of a breakfast. All right, vertical line, x equals a, has undefined slope. And it's just a line going up and down. And there it is, guys. So if we know that, we should be able to answer all the others. I think I'm a little slow today, guys, because I didn't have my coffee. All right, example 1. Write an equation of slope-intercept form for the linear function f, such that f of -2 is 10. So that's just like a point. And f of 0 is 4. If you think about it, that's your y-intercept. So they pretty much did all the hard work for us. So all we got to do is find the slope. 10 minus 4. If we want to call this x1, y1, x2, y2. Divided by -2 minus 0. 6 over -2. Slope is -3. I already said my y-intercept was 4. Y equals -3x plus 4. And that's it. Next one. Let's see. Given f of negative 2 equals 3 and f of 4 equals negative 5. So that's a point. And that's a point. Write an equation in point-slope form. Oh, sorry guys, I just forgot something. They said linear function f. So you should probably write f. Will I take points off? No, I won't take points off. Write an equation in point-slope form? All right, point-slope form. First, let's find the slope. So I'm gonna label them. You don't have to label. Once you're a beast, you can just go ahead and just go right into it. Negative 5 minus 3 over 4 minus negative 2. 5 minus 3, what's that? Negative 8. And then 6, so that's gonna be a negative 4/3. And then you can use any point, guys. It's all the same. I'm gonna use this one first, and then I'm gonna use this one second. So first, y minus 3, oh, I guess let me write the formula first, right? I'm using y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1. Y minus 3 equals slope x minus a negative 2, so plus, and there it is. If I use the second one, y minus a negative 5, so plus, equals negative 4/3, x minus 4. They are both the same. You don't believe me? We'll try it out right here. Letter B says simplify the slope-intercept form. Let's try number 1. Y minus 3 equals negative 4/3 x minus 8/3 when I distribute the 4 to the 2. And when I move the 3 to the other side, plus 3 plus 3. To get the same fraction, or the denominator, to get the same denominator, just multiply it by 3. So that's 9/3. A negative 8 plus 9, that's a 1. So y equals negative 4/3 x plus 1/3. Let's try it with this one right here, with number 2. You're gonna see we're gonna get the same thing. Y plus 5 equals a negative 4/3 x plus, because negative times the negative is a positive, 16/3. Move the 5, subtract 5, subtract 5. Y equals negative 4/3 x. Multiply that by 3, so you get 15/3. Excuse me. It's negative, of course. 16 minus 15, that's a 1. OMG, we get the same thing, guys. And all that, none of this is new. You guys already know all this good stuff. So yeah. Find the general form, sometimes called standard. Okay, so a rule of thumb for standard form, guys, or general form, you want A, B, and C to be integers. That just means whole numbers. And you usually want A to be positive. Now, I have seen some textbooks where A is negative. That's usually at the university level. At the high school level, they usually say they want A to be positive. Sometimes they don't even say anything. They just give you standard form. All right. So now having said that, let's go ahead and fix this, guys. I want it to look like this. So I want the X first, I want the Y second, and I want a constant at the end. So I'm going to move, it doesn't matter which one you take because they're both the same equation. I'm going to move the 4/3 to the left. So I'm going to write 4/3 X. When you move it to the left, it turns positive. Plus y equals 1/3. And then since I'm sticking to this rule that I want everything to be a whole number, I'm just gonna multiply that sucker by 3. And when you do that, you get, well, I guess I shouldn't put, well, it's equals to, because I put a 3 there. So let's see, 4x plus 3y equals 1. So there it is. What happens if you leave it as a fraction, 4/3 x plus y equals 1/3? I'd probably give you an awkward emoji and maybe take off a point depending on the question. No, I probably would leave it. I don't think I would take off a point. But I'd give you an awkward face. All right. Let's see. Find the linear function f that satisfies the following conditions. Passes through the point 4, 3. And parallel to the line y equals 5. All right, before you even start, guys, The only way it can be parallel to a horizontal line is if you have another horizontal line. So it has to be y equals 3. Now I know a lot of you are probably freaking out, like, oh, I can't see that, Chavez, I need a visual. Like, okay, we'll give you a visual, relax. So here's y equals 5. And here's the 0.43. Here's 4, and I'm gonna say here's 3, not to scale. And there's the point. So the only way to be parallel is to have that. That line is y equals 3. All right, let's keep going. Find the linear function f of x that satisfies this coordinate, -5, 7. So -5, 7. When x is -5, the y value is 7. And has a graph that is parallel to the function 3x plus y equals 9. If I were doing SAT prep, I would say opposite of a over b, that's your slope. We're not doing ACT prep right now, so let's just go ahead and just talk about it. I want it to be parallel. I need to have the same slope. If you just move that 3x to the other side, you get a -3x. All you care about is that -3. Now that I know that I have a slope of -3, I want it to go through this point. So I would just use point slope formula, guys. Y minus 7 equals -3, parenthesis, x minus a -5, so plus 5. And if they don't tell you to solve for y, I can leave it like that. They tell me to solve for f of x. So I'm going to go ahead and do y minus 7 equals -3x minus 15 plus 7 plus 7. Y equals -3x, let's see, minus 8. And there it is, guys. That's it. That's the equation. Is there another way to do it? Yes. Let me tell you the other way, which you probably like at the moment. All right. All your life, your high school teachers have been telling you y equals mx plus b all your life. Or maybe since 5th grade at least, or 6th grade, linear line. So because they've been telling you all this, you probably think this way is the easier route. You say, well, I found my slope to be -3, so -3x plus b. I want to find a y-intercept. I have a point to -5, 7. I just plug it in. 7 equals -3, -5 plus b, and then to solve for b. 7 equals 15 plus b, minus 15 minus 15. B equals -8, and then plug back the b in. So y equals -3x minus 8. Same thing. I do not like the stuff in blue. If you want to do it in blue, go right ahead. I will not take points off. I would start doing it in red because it's faster. Sometimes they don't even ask you to simplify, guys, and you can stop right here. So if I were you guys, I would just do everything in red instead of in blue. I'm not saying to do everything in color red. I'm saying I would use the point slope over the y equals mx plus b and then plug in and then plug back in. The one in red is faster. It really is. Maybe you think you're faster with blue, but if you start practicing, you'll be a lot faster with what's in red there. All right, example 5. Find the linear function that satisfies this coordinate, -7, -10, and has a graph that is perpendicular to the line 24x minus 6y equals -10. All right, well, let's find out what slope this guy is. So -6y equals -24x minus 10, divided by -6, everything. Y equals 6 goes into 24, what's that, 4 times? Plus 5 over 3. This is what matters. And if you want to have perpendicular lines, you must have opposite reciprocals. So the symbol for perpendicular lines is this one. Now, I have seen some new age books. I don't know if it's a new trend or if it's a new symbol. I have seen some brand new books, high school textbooks, that have this as perpendicular. And I don't know if that's a new thing. I just saw it. It really, okay, I'm saying books like it's plural, right? I've seen one textbook that has it like written this way. All the others, this is still backwards T, capital, is still perpendicular. And that's because you see 2 lines intersect and they make a right angle right there at that little corner. And that's what that little square indicates, that it's a right angle. So I don't know if it's that new textbook or if it's always been like that. but I've always seen it with a backwards capital T to stand for perpendicular. Anyways, coming back at it, this is not a lesson on like, oh, how do we get perpendicular slope? You should have already done that in algebra. So I'm just telling you that my perpendicular slope, in order for this line to have a slope, in order for this line to have a line that is perpendicular to this line, I must have an opposite reciprocal. So if this is positive, it must be negative. If that's a 4, it has to be 1/4. So there's my slope of my line. And then I'm just going to write y minus a negative 10, so y plus 10, equals a negative 1/4, x minus a negative 7, so plus 7. And since they want f of x, I'm going to solve y plus 10 equals a negative 1/4 x. Let's see, minus 7/4. And I'm going to subtract 10, minus 10, minus 10 to get the same thing. If you want the same common denominator, just multiply that by whatever that number is. So 10 times 4 is a 40. So 40, and then keep the 4, and then put the negative in there. As you can see, 40 divided by 4 is 10. 40 minus 7, or negative 40 minus 7, the same sign, so add them up. So your equation, I'm going to write it over here. F of x equals negative 1/4 x. You can write x over 4 if you want. Minus 47 over 4. There you go. Are we happy, guys? We're not watching like TV or anything, right? Jamming out to some music. All right, here we go. We already talked about finding zeros and y-intercepts and all that good stuff. It's on your summer notes. I think for the summer notes, it was over rationals. I think it was summer notes 4. I put a quadratic function in here, guys. It's obviously one that opens upwards because the export is positive. I made this one look like it's going through the origin. Who knows? It's not. This is not this one. It's not to scale. When we cross the x-axis, the y value is 0. When we cross the y-axis, the x value is 0. So it's easy to find the x-intercept. Plug in a 0 for x. So 0 squared minus 4 times 0 minus 21. So my y-intercept is 0, negative 21. Now the x-intercept happens when the y value is 0. So this is a pretty function, guys. You can factor that out. So let's see. F of x equals, and then x, and then two numbers that multiply give you negative 21, but the difference is negative 4. That's 7 and 3. You want the negative to be the 7 and the 3 to be the positive because you need it to add up to a negative 4. So now that we got that, the only way you can make this expression 0 is if x is 7 or if x is negative 3. And don't leave it like that, guys. Either write me a sentence, x-intercepts at 7 and negative 3, or just tell me x-intercepts, colon, 7, 0, negative 3, 0. If you want to put a comma in between those, that's fine. And there it is, x-intercepts, y-intercepts. Are we cool, guys? Someone say we're cool.
We're cool.
All right, let's keep going. Example 7. All right, so actually we're gonna chat a little bit about this one, guys. You know what, I kind of want to open up Desmos too, so you guys can see how powerful that is. So in a little bit, we'll open up Desmos. Yeah, maybe, because I think we're probably gonna skip example 8 for now, just for momentarily. We did it with first period, so I hope you don't feel cheated that we're not gonna do example 8. Don't worry, we will later. Example 7. Given this function is 4x squared plus 6x plus 2, find the y-intercept of f of x minus 2. All right, method one. I guess one way you can do it, guys, is to plug in an x minus 2 anywhere you see an x. So you can say f of x minus 2 is 4 parentheses x minus 2 squared plus 6 parentheses x minus 2 plus 2. And then it's fine now to put an equal sign because now you're just evaluating what that is. So 4, and then x times x is x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. We're going to have 2 of those. So minus 4x. And then negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. And then plus 6x minus 12 plus 2. And then I'm going to distribute. So then you have 4x squared minus 16x plus 16. Let's see, plus 6x minus 10. If I combine the last two terms there. And then finally, let's see, there's only one that has an x squared on it, and then 16x and 6, so that's going to be plus 10x. And then the 16 and minus 10, that's going to be plus 6. So now if you enter a 0 into the x there, you get 6. Insert x equals 0, since we are finding y-intercept, and you get 0, 6. So there it is. I felt like that took a while, but that's fine. Okay, here's method 2. So if you only learn one thing today, today in math class, I need your ultimate attention right now, guys, because we're about to show you some, I guess it's not necessarily pretty deep stuff, but if you can figure this out, then you can pretty much figure anything out because you are a logical thinker. What's the difference between f of x and f of x minus 2? I mean, obviously I can see the expression there, but don't tell me between the expression. Tell me what's the difference, like what happens between f of x and f of x minus 2? It does something. It's a shift. What type of shift and how many times? Anyone. It's okay, guys, to be wrong. Just say what you think. No pressure, guys. No one's going to think anything. Yeah, what's the difference between f of x and f of x minus 2? There's some type of shift happening. What type of shift is it? And how many times do I move or what?
Would you be going negative instead of, well, you'd obviously be going negative, right?
Well, you're moving. It's a shift. Is it a horizontal shift? Is it a vertical shift? And how many times do I move? Is it one time? Is it twice? Is it 3 times?
Horizontal 2 times?
Yeah, horizontal 2 times. To what direction?
The right?
Yeah, perfect. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to say f of x minus 2 shifts f of x twice to the right. Perfect. So think about it. If you are moving 2 times to the right, so I'm just going to draw some generic graph here. If you're moving 2 times to the right, here's your original. This is the original, f of x. All you got to do is find your x value, your y value, when x is negative 2. Notice that. Why? Because if I move this twice to the right, I'm going to be right on the y-axis. Does that make sense to you guys? I'm going to say it again. If I plug in a negative 2 into the original, it's going to give me a y value. And that point is going to be transformed twice to the right, and it's going to be right on the y-axis. So theoretically, if I plug in a negative 2, I better get a 6 as a y value, because when you move to the right, it's going to be right on the y-axis. So check it out, guys. F of negative 2, let's see if it works. I'm looking at this original one. 4 times negative 2 squared plus 6 times negative 2 plus 2. 4 times 4 minus 12 plus 2. Oh, look, it looks like it's going to work. 16 minus 12 plus 2. Yep. 4 plus 2 is 6. It works. Did we see that, guys? First, you got to understand the question. If you don't understand the question, then we're just doing nonsense, and it's like, I don't understand what you're doing. We're finding the y-intercept. We're finding the y-intercept of the function f of x minus 2, and they give us f of x. Does that make sense, guys? Now, I want to show you guys something. So hold on. Let me go to desmos.com. I don't know. Hopefully, you've heard of Desmos, and I hope that you've been using Desmos. And if you haven't, Let me do a new share here. Share. Okay, can you guys see Desmos.com?
Yes.
All right, so check this out. Look how powerful Desmos is. I'm going to go ahead and write that statement. F of x equals, what was the original function? I already forgot, short-term memory. Was it 4x squared?
Yes. Plus 6x
4x.
plus 2.
Oh, wait, you're going too fast. It's because I have to.
Yeah, sorry.
No, we're good, miss. 4x squared
Plus 6x
plus 6x. Okay, plus
2.
plus 2. So here's my original. And let's say I want to know what f of x minus 2, where the new y-intercept is. So all you do, if that's f of x, you just go f, and then you open a parenthesis, and then you just type in there x minus 2, and then you close that dude up, and look at, there it is in blue. And you can see, so let me write my mouse. So each little rectangle here has a space, has a x displacement of 0.5. So you can see at -2, the red one, the original, is at -2,6. And then we move twice to the right, you're right there at 0,6. And it's evident by that blue one. All that happens, the difference between the red one and the blue one is that the red one has been shifted twice to the right. And there's my y-intercept that they wanted. Cool, right, guys?